What's going on? My name is Hiram. I've been through some crap, and I got into a really bad way of thinking. And through a lot of learning, I've learned a lot of techniques to help me out through things and to get myself out of that negative thinking. So I figured maybe I can get a lot of joy out of getting this to other people who might be in the same situation because we all go through shit. Let's just be real, we all do. So I guess the first things I'd like to hear is the three R's. Now, the three R's is to me the biggest thing that, like, and almost like the first step in getting yourself out of this negative thinking. So, the first R is recognize. So, think about your daily life. Think about the things that usually piss you the hell off, things that usually trigger you into that negative way of thinking instantly. I mean, instantaneous. Boom, you're sitting in traffic, someone cuts you off. Instantaneous. Boom, like that. You're reacting with all that anger. Recognizing is about recognizing that and say, here's an example of you recognizing it. Guy cuts you off. There, I stopped for a second and thought. Recognizing is about being aware when those triggers happen. When that happens to you, be aware, recognizes, wait, this is what usually pisses me off. Here we go. That right there is your first step. You've recognized it. So now the second one. Now there's a lot of different R's. I've doing my research. I've seen things. I've seen a lot of people use different words, but the second R to me would be reflect or refrain. Some people look at them a lot different, but to me it's really refraining and reflecting is kind of the same because refraining is you're refraining from that instantaneous reaction. You're holding yourself from just doing what you usually do in that habitual reaction. So refrain, or how reflecting will relate to that as well, is reflecting as in looking at this, how is this affecting me? Why does this make me angry? Reflecting and refraining from responding to that. You're just looking into it because you've recognized it, you've stopped. And now this is the really important part. This is very vital into getting it done because you're thinking about it. You're, instead of just reacting, now you're actually thinking and you're using your head like you need to instead of just doing what you usually do. So that refraining part is very vital. So a good way to do it would be just like I said, think. You've recognized it, now sit there and think. How is what I usually do, like flipping someone off or yelling at them through their window? Let's think. Is that going to get me through this any faster? Or is that going to create more problems? Is a person maybe a savage and gets pissed off when you flip him off and thinks he's going to make it even more of a big deal and make a big scene out of it? Then you got more problems than you had in the first place. So then when you're thinking about all that, you're like, you realize that getting angry really serves no useful purpose. And for me, when this first started working for me, it was that point right there when I was just like, it's not going to get me through anything. It's not going to help me. Now, I'm not saying the anger can't help you in certain times where, say, someone's trying to hurt you and you need to protect somebody and you need to use that anger to kind of empower you to be brave. I can understand that. But that's more of the defensive kind of way, but like I can understand that. I'm not saying that you can't use anger to work out, which is actually a very good thing. I do that all the time. I still build up so much anger. It's crazy. So that's why I use these techniques. But working out's a really good way of getting rid of that anger because you're channeling that energy into something more productive and something that actually makes you feel really good when you're done and it's healthy. So it's that no useful purpose of anger is what makes me refrain from my instantaneous response. So that's the biggest part. Now, it's funny that I was talking about working out because the third R is release. Release. Now that you've recognized what you were doing, you've thought about it, and you've acted, and you've said, this isn't useful. I'm not going to get angry. And don't worry, because I know it's easier said than done, because you're going to be feeling that anger. You're still going to be feeling it building up while you're doing this. And the release part is where you've thought about the results. You've thought about what it's going to do for you. And you've realized it's not going to help you. So the release part is when you just let it go. It sounds like I'm just, BSing you, and then you can easily, it's not that easy. I mean, you can't just let go. Well, I can't just let that go. You really can. You really can. That's the main thing, is to not fight yourself, to not fight anything, because that's not helping. You just breathe and release. Now you've realized that that little millisecond of that time of that person cutting you off is already over with. Now that person's up ahead in traffic, and you've realized that that whole thing that could have turned into something huge, which it usually does. You normally react like this and get angry, then you start looking at all the other things that make you angry, and then everything suddenly makes you more angry than usual because you're in an angry state of mind. You've realized that you just completely dodged that. You completely shut that down. And I'm telling you, the first time you do it, the first time you successfully do it, because it's going to take a lot of tries, because you really want to use this in your most stressful situations, because it's practice. And traffic is really good practice, because I drive all the time, so that's when I use it. But it's very important to just remember how insignificant getting angry about things is, like how just unnecessary and just useless it is. It's important to realize that every time you successfully get through these 3 R's, because every time it works, it gets easier the next time. I'm telling you, it gets easier. You get used to that, and then as you start getting away from that thought, that instantaneous reaction, that negative thought process, the more you do it, the more at peace you start to feel. It's pretty incredible, actually. When you stick with it and you use that willpower and you stay with it, you'll generally start feeling better. So I want you, if anybody's watching this and you're going through some stuff, trust me, I get it. I really do. I really understand it. So think about what I said here, and really try to use these 3 R's. And you can look them up yourself if you want to research them and look into them yourself. I actually really like when people research into things themselves. That's a very important part of life, is to look in things for yourself and see things from your own perspective. So use these. Think about these 3 R's. Write them in a note and put it in your back pocket if you have to. And if you're feeling like crap, pick that note out. Go to the bathroom or something at work if you're at work, and go to the bathroom and pick that note out and look at it and remind yourself, I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of being angry. Look at that and be like, maybe this is my way out. Maybe this can happen. Maybe this will work. And just use it. And if you have any questions, you can message me. I love helping people. I love helping people get out of this negative thought process, because we all have it. It's very big nowadays, especially with all the social media crap going on. So use these 3 R's: recognize, refrain, reflect, and release. Use it in your everyday life at all times. Always have that in the back of your mind. And every time you recognize that trigger, follow through. I'm telling you, it'll work for you. So with that, I will say have a good day, or a good evening, or a good morning. And I love you all, and I hope that you actually use this and it helps you out.